Hello, my name is Lucas, or Zukas, or as I've recently taken to calling my channel, GNU+zukas, for it is in fact me with a GNU operating system. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, you can see that I'm a proud Void Linux user with a totally supported desktop environment known as Hyperland. And yeah, it's a great distro, and I think everyone should try it. It has probably one of my favorite package managers, other than Gentoo's portage, but you can't beat that. But I'm not going to daily drive Gentoo, because I love Gentoo, hear me out, I love Gentoo, but I don't want to do all my main stuff on Gentoo. Like, I have another partition on here with Gentoo installed, but all I do on there is kind of mess around and everything. Alright, so I thought I'd do a little distro tier list, sorry. So just to show you guys my opinions on distros and their software and everything. And so you can get to know me and what I'll be doing on this channel more, like, a little better. So first, just to get this out of the way, I'll put Void in S, because it's amazing. You have control of everything. It's super minimal. There is an amazing packaging manager. There's like that includes tons of utilities, and their source package builder makes it xbps-src makes it super easy to add packages to their repository, like build packages for xbps. Like, it's crazy. All right, next up, we'll have Fedora. Fedora, I'm gonna put in B. By the way, I'm not saying this is this is how everyone should think. This is just my opinion. This is how it is for me. So Fedora is, I'm such a minimalist. It's kind of bloated, in my opinion. Like, I also don't really like the DNF package manager. I don't really like RPM-based package managers in general. I've just never had super good luck with them. But Fedora is open source version of Red Hat, basically, and Red Hat's testing ground. That's kind of interesting, I guess. So you'll get newer packages, but it's not as unstable as something like Arch. So that's something. Alright, so Gentoo. Gentoo is, I gotta put it in S tier, because like Gentoo, you can't install Gentoo without like not learning anything, unless you've installed it like a ton of times. Like, I've installed Gentoo a few times now, and I'd say I wouldn't daily drive it, but I'd say it's an amazing distribution. I just wouldn't daily drive it because I want to have something that I want to always have a working system, and that's where Void comes in. Alright, next, Kali. I think Kali, so I'm going to put it in D tier, because it has a purpose. Like, it has a bunch of pre-installed tools for pen testing and stuff, but most of the time when it's just used by high school kids pretending they're hackers. And all those tools can be installed on anything else. Like, it's literally just Debian with pre-configured stuff. You can just install all those tools on Debian and you're good. Alright, Antics. So Antics is basically like Debian, but for old computers. So, and I'm gonna put it in A tier because they do a really good job of making everything super minimal. I think it's actually made by the same people as MX, and it's really nice. I've used it before on some old 32-bit laptops. All right, OpenSUSE. Also, I need to end this debate over OpenSUSE or OpenSUSE. It's called OpenSUSE. I think I'm gonna put this above Fedora, because again, I'm not a huge fan of RPM packaging or Zipper. I think DNF is better than Zipper, but OpenSUSE as a whole is a better distro. Like, what they've done, I wouldn't use it as my daily distro because I like minimalist distros, but like Yast and everything, it just works all together so seamlessly and so well. And the rolling release version, Tumbleweed, is it's a rolling release it's more stable than Arch, like because it's slightly older packages, and they did kind of the same thing as Manjaro, but they did it like way better because because you can't really make Arch more stable, even if you because it'll just break all the other packages. All right, so next, Hello ISO slash SteamOS slash whatever you want to call it. So I don't know where to put this one. For me, it would probably be uh probably an E tier because I'm not a gamer. I mean, I play a few games, like, but I don't need the big fancy Steam interface and stuff like that. I'd just rather configure all my game stuff in Void or like Gentoo or something. But for people who want a system like that, like this, it's great. But it's just not something for me. All right, Garuda. So Garuda, I'm gonna put in C tier. So they basically took Arch, added a crap ton of bloatware, added some gaming stuff, added a bunch of themes, and then called it a gaming distro. So if you like that kind of thing, go for it. But I don't like it. All right, Mint. Mint was my first distro, and it's basically what they did. They went in, took Ubuntu, and fixed it, made it not bad. And yeah, it Ubuntu has just kind of gone downhill. And they also have their Debian LMDE, the Debian edition. Like they're both the Debian edition and their Ubuntu edition are both solid. Like I wouldn't daily drive it anymore because I'm not a fan of like distros that style of distro. But I'll recommend that for anyone who's just starting out because it'll just work, per se, and whatever. Ubuntu, I, I just don't like. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in E tier because I feel bad putting anything in F almost. But the the company that owns Ubuntu, has done some really suspicious things with other companies such as Amazon in the past, and but that's not the main thing. One of the main things is their snap packages, which are abysmally slow. Well, they were abysmally slow. Now they fixed some of them, so some of them are a lot of the main ones are as fast as the Flatpak counterparts, but it's super inconsistent. Like Flatpaks, some of them, like they all just work the same speed. And these ones, last time I tried it, I'm not sure if they fixed it by now, but some of them take like almost a minute to open up, and the others take like 10 seconds. It's just, and the backend for those is proprietary, so like they can't have the open source community come in and suggest changes to fix it, which is super stupid for an open source company to make a closed source packaging format. That's just dumb. All right, Debian. Debian is rock solid. It's a little more bloated than something like Void, but it can be very minimal, and it's just great. Like if I had better server hardware, like my server hardware right now is like, as you can see from my main machine's hardware, I don't have a ton of money. Like I'm using a i3 3rd gen on my main machine, and something slightly older on my server. But it's okay, my server doesn't run much. But on my server I currently run Gen 2. But if I had more resources on my server, I would run Debian. And if I ever go into server administration as a job, then I'm definitely going to use Debian. rock solid, stable. Like, you get older packages, but you have multiple package lines that you can choose. Like, you can choose the testing or the rolling release. Not rolling release, but the unstable, the SID. And no matter what, it works great. All right, Slackware. Slackware, it was a great distro of its time. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it in D tier just to put it above Ubuntu. Because the only thing I don't like about it is its package manager. Its package manager feels like it's from the 90s. Like, that's because it is. Because it doesn't even have dependency resolution. And some people, Slackware fans are gonna be like, "Oh, but it's so amazing! You can choose exactly what you want." Far better way to do that is to just use Gentoo with uslags. It's just better. All right, Puppy Linux. So Puppy is super minimal, and how it works is it loads itself into the RAM and runs from RAM. That way, it's really fast, so it can run on really old computers, and run really well. All right, so NixOS. I think I'm gonna put that in A. A tier is kind of gonna have the most, I guess. But NixOS is a very interesting distro. Like, I'd love to get more into Nix, but I have a NixOS partition on my machine. Sorry about that. And it works just great. But my one problem is I can't get Hyperland up and working. Like, I have it in my config file, like that, to install it. And it's installed. I can start it from a TTY, but it won't show up in SDDM, which I'm really confused about. So if anyone in the comments could try and help me with that. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But otherwise, it's a really interesting concept, and it's kind of interesting to play around with. Right, next is Alpine. Another one goes to the A tier. But Alpine, I wouldn't daily drive Alpine, but I would definitely use it in a Docker container or a server or something like that, because it's super minimal. It barely uses any resources. Like, I ran it on I ran Minecraft server on a Pentium D without running Alpine, and with 3 people on it got 40 FPS fairly solidly. It was kind of funny. But with a Pentium D running 1.16 Minecraft on Alpine. And yeah, its package manager is actually really fast, but its repositories are pretty tiny. But anyway, cool distro. So next, I'm gonna do Arch. This is gonna make people mad, but I'm putting Arch down here. I know everyone loves Arch, but I don't. I've had some bad experience with Arch. Like, on my laptop, I installed a dual boot between Arch and Debian a while ago, before I switched everything over to Void. And Arch decided, you know what, I'm going to use crazy unstable Intel drivers. And so that kind of ruined my screen. So now, like, if I'm on a full desktop environment that's running X11, like, if I leave it idle, not doing anything, it'll just start giving my screen a bunch of light bleed, and I have to turn it off and wait for a while for that to go away. But if I'm on any Wayland session, or even just any minimal window manager, I don't have that issue. And even that issue still persists, even though Arch isn't installed anymore. So I think I just need a new screen to fix that, but I'm a Wayland user now. I use Hyperland now, so that's not a problem for me. And Artix. So I'm gonna put Artix right here above Arch, but not because I hate systemd. Systemd is okay. If it works for you, go for systemd. but I like something more minimal. Like, I'm used to Void's Run It, and I also like Gentoo's OpenRC, but my personal favorite is Run It, and Arch claims to give you, like, choice on everything, but it's kind of hard to change your... you can do it, but it's kind of annoying to change your init system on base Arch. And on Artix, you can just go ahead and pick which init system you want before you install it. It's really amazing. Alright, so it looks like that's all. But just remember, this tier list is not for everybody. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying everyone should go out and install Gentoo, but if you want the experience, if you want the experience and you want to learn a lot about Linux, then go ahead and try it. Just don't use it as your main system. Install a dual boot or something, and you will learn a lot. It's great. I love Gentoo, but and same thing with Void. Like, if you want to use Linux, I suggest like starting with Mint and later on moving on to something like Void, because Void is just amazing. I really want the Void community to grow, and that would just be great. Alright, so anyways, that's pretty much all I have for this video. See ya.